right, so we're in the kitchen. I'm gonna do a separate video on appliances specifically, but you know, you're gonna walk in the kitchen. You know, for me, I'm usually, the sink's over there, I'll turn on the water right away, starting to make sure that the hot water gets hot, and making sure that there's no drip underneath. I'm going to be looking at the counters to make sure, you know, one, they're secure, right? And then two, that there is no big gaps or no separation here. A common thing in the kitchens are the hinges. So these hinges here or these hinges here, making sure those are tight. This one seems pretty tight. And then, you know, these are little fancier shelves or drawers than most of what you'll see out there in our portfolio. But, you know, make sure these close right, or if there are shelves that have a knob, make sure the knob's tight. So a lot of times you'll have in the kitchen tightened knob and hinges on all, and that just kind of covers everything to make sure. You're looking in the kitchen, you're having these GFCI things. So let's see, where's the one that we got here? So this one, this one right here. So we're gonna test it and then reset it. Now, if this doesn't test and it doesn't pop back out, you'll put on your thing to GFCI not working. Look further. So here's another one. So you always want the green light. So I'm gonna test it and then reset it. You know, just looking in the drawers, making sure there's not a bunch of stuff. You know, if this last tenant here left a lockbox, left a couple of the garage door openers, that will come up in a separate section where we'll document that. But that's good stuff that's in there. So looking in here, I'm not sure if we have a disposal or not. We can look at that. Yes, there's a disposal. So I'm gonna hit the disposal. I want to make sure that there's nothing in there. Now, disposal, if you don't know what a disposal sounds like with stuff in it, there's a YouTube video out for that. Maybe we'll link it to this. But if you have something in it, just know it. I'm not expecting you to stick your hand down there and pull anything out. I'm just expecting you to know something wrong with garbage disposal. Please review. Or something stuck. But then you're also going to look under here. And this is a common thing too. A lot of times through water or spilled cleaning products, this underneath here gets nasty. And we want to make sure that that if this has to be covered, or maybe sometimes we replace, there's a board in the cabinet, we'll replace that altogether. You have, you know, also making sure there's no leaking going on. You know, so I just ran the water, whether it be out the bottom of the disposal, out the corner of the sink, or out one of the hot or cold valves that supply the water in here. That's important. There's also, in this one, you got the connection to the dishwasher. So just kind of looking at all those things to make sure that they're working is the setup. Now, obviously, you have a kitchen in the window. You're going to do the same thing. You're going to test the blinds. You're going to make sure the screens work. You're going to make sure they're secure, they're closed. You're going to look at all the light fixtures. You're going to make sure that you have bulbs. You know, for example, this one's missing a bulb here, so we're going to put that on there. Install the light bulb. Sometimes not in recessed cans, but on these other fixtures, maybe hanging ceiling fans or whatnot, there's excessive dirtiness. I know you've seen on the ceiling fan blades, just like a layer of dirt. That's not typically found in the common area clean. So I always note that when you see something a little more excessive. And while I got you on there, the other thing too that might be excessive, that's not always part of the common area clean, is your return vents. So your return vents that are either here on the other side of the furnace, or sometimes you'll see them up there close to the ceiling. If they're nasty, let's note them and make sure they get cleaned, to make sure that the person doing the final clean doesn't miss it, or it's not part of their normal scope and they don't do it, and then all of a sudden we come for the quality control and it's still nasty. So when in doubt, document it. But looking at the kitchen is the most moving parts. I'm going to do a separate video here on the appliances, but just kind of keeping that in here. This is, you know, obviously the kitchen is one of those focal points, and if anything's going to be look good in here, we want to make sure the kitchen, the baths, and all that stuff are top notch.